country's next supreme leader.
Plus, spring break almost here for many Southeast Texas students. The warning from TxDOT that students need to hear.
And speaking of spring break, 12 News reporter Derek Jones is in studio to break down what's behind travel delays and how travelers are coping with the chaos. 12 News Daybreak starts now. Good morning, Southeast Texas. Thanks for waking up with us here on 12 News Daybreak on 12 News Plus. I'm Tia Johnson.
And I'm Mark Armstrong. 7 o'clock right now. Let's go ahead and get a first look at your weather with meteorologist Jeff Gerber as we take a quick live look outside from our Roofing 911 Live Skycam network here above Jasper. Jeff Gerber standing by with the forecast. How's it looking out there today, Jeff?
A little bit of patchy fog this morning, maybe a couple of showers. It's really as we head towards Wednesday that we're looking at some rain and thunderstorms. We do have a weather impact alert out there for Wednesday and Wednesday night with a slight risk of severe weather. Could see a couple of inches of rain with some strong winds and some hail possible. So something to think about as we head towards Wednesday. For this morning, you won't have to worry about nothing as far as any heavy rain or anything like that. We might see a couple isolated showers, like I said, a little bit later on this morning into this afternoon. And we're starting off in the 60s, 68 in Kirbyville as well as Jasper and Beaumont, 69 in Silsbee, Woodville's at 67. Then Port Arthur and Orange currently sitting at about 71. Outside, we're looking at some low-level cloudiness, mostly cloudy skies out there. This camera brought to you by Market Basket down in Port Arthur, part of the Roofing 911 Live Skycam network. And you can see temperatures for the most part stay in the 70s for a good portion of the day, but looks like we could get up to about 80, 81 for maybe mid to late afternoon. And we'll keep a small chance of rain in the forecast for today, right around about 20 to 30%. So what showers that do develop will be fairly isolated and move through pretty quickly.
The son of the Ayatollah killed at the start of the war will now run Iran, even after President Trump dismissed him as an unacceptable replacement for his father.
Iran is still taking aim at U.S. allies across the Middle East. Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and the UAE all reporting incoming drones and missiles overnight. ABC's Marcus Moore with the latest from Qatar.
This morning, 9 days after the killing of Iran's Ayatollah Khamenei, his son has been named Iran's new supreme leader. Mojtaba Khamenei is expected to maintain the hardline regime his father created. President Trump has called the 56-year-old, quote, an unacceptable choice to lead Iran, overnight saying simply, quote, we'll see what happens.
They don't intend to bow to the United States pressure to change the regime.
Hours before the Ayatollah's successor was announced, President Trump insisted he needed to approve the next Iranian leader, or quote, he's not going to last long. Trump is now considering sending U.S. special forces into Iran to seize the country's nuclear stockpile.
We wouldn't do it now, maybe we'd do it later.
U.S. Central Command now confirms a 7th American service member has died in this conflict after being wounded during an Iranian attack on a base in Saudi Arabia last week. Iran continues to pound its Persian Gulf neighbors. This government building in Kuwait on fire after being hit by an Iranian drone. In Bahrain, dozens injured in attacks and a desalination plant was hit. Desalination plants are essential for providing water to much of the Middle East. Meanwhile, Israel is targeting energy infrastructure inside Iran. This attack on an oil depot in Tehran sent poisonous fumes into the air for miles. It comes as Russia is reportedly providing Iran with intelligence to target U.S. forces, including the locations of troops, aircraft, and ships. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth downplaying the threat. President Trump, in the meantime, has demanded Iran's unconditional surrender, leading many to question what surrender would look like. Secretary Hegseth saying this.
Now, whether they will have a ceremony in Tehran Square and surrender, that's up to them. Whether they know it or not, they will be combat ineffective. They will surrender.
It's 7:04 right now. Back here at home, one person was shot overnight in the parking lot of Waffle House in Cinemark around 10 p.m. Beaumont police tell 12 News that there were reports of shots fired involving a large group of teenagers. Officers with BPD cleared the movie theater as a precaution and an investigation is ongoing. We haven't received any updates about the victim's current condition, but their injuries are not life-threatening.
BPD also investigating a shooting Friday night that happened in the 7800 block of Gladys Avenue. Just before 10, officers responded to a call for gunshots. When they arrived, they discovered a woman had been shot. They say that person is expected to recover.
We've learned the identity of a woman that died in a crash in Jasper County Friday night on State Highway 62 near County Road 825. Sunday DPS showed us 35-year-old Megan Martin from Groves died at the scene, while her 13-year-old daughter died after being transported to the hospital, according to Jefferson County JP Judge Ben Collins. Martin's best friend, Stephanie Shaw, tells 12 News Martin's daughter, Serenity Rivera, and her 9-year-old son, Lee Martin, were passengers inside the Chevrolet pickup truck Martin was driving. Shaw says the little boy suffered a broken leg and got out of surgery Saturday night. He's now staying with family. Shaw says Megan was, quote, always positive and smiling no matter the situation. She was always laughing and her laugh was contagious. She says her daughter Serenity was her mother's child and she had just made the cheer squad at her middle school. Shaw says Megan was a respiratory therapist at Baptist Hospital.
Beaumont police investigating after a person was hit by a car. It happened around noon Saturday on MLK Parkway. We're told the man was riding a bike in the 500 block in front of Scooter's Coffee. The victim is recovering in the hospital in stable condition. Once we learn more information, we'll keep you updated.
Spring break is almost here for most Southeast Texas students, but authorities are warning drunk drivers can turn celebrations deadly. TxDOT and DPS are teaming up for a new campaign called Drive Sober, No Regrets. Over the next few weeks, troopers will increase patrols and crack down on drunk driving. According to TxDOT, there were more than 700 alcohol-related crashes during spring break in Texas last year. 36 people died and half of the crashes involved drivers under the age of 30. Officials want to remind everyone to find an alternate ride if you drink too much.
Spring break travel is already in full swing, but for many passengers flying out of airports across the country, their trip starting with long lines and frustration at TSA checkpoints.
12 News reporter Derek Jones is in studio to explain what's causing the delays and how travelers are dealing with it.
Mark and Tia, the current wait time this morning out of the Hobby Airport is 180 minutes. For many travelers heading out for spring break, the waiting started the moment they arrived at Hobby Airport Sunday morning. Passengers face long security lines as hundreds try to get through TSA. The problem isn't just in Houston. Travelers at airports across the country are reporting similar delays. Officials say this impact could last through the rest of the week. Delays come as partial government shutdown continues, leaving TSA workers on the job without pay for the second time in 5 months. For travelers like Leah Turner, it meant missing her flight.
We had missed both our flights. We were waiting in TSA just to get to security for 4 hours. All the way it started in international arrival, and it took us 4 hours to get to the TSA.
Yesterday, the Department of Homeland Security placed the blame on Democrats in Congress, saying they're holding spring break travel hostage for political points. Democrats have been blocking funding for Homeland Security, including TSA, while pushing for changes in immigration enforcement policies. In studio, Derek Jones, 12 News.
All right, Derek. Well, it's spring break, so you may think that your child is ready for some independence. More parents say are turning to GPS trackers and kids' smartwatches to keep tabs on their child's location. But who else can see that location? And are you putting your child's data at risk? Well, Consumer Reports has more.
Kalani Vasquez tracks her daughter's location while she travels with her school's sports team.
For me, it's more about peace of mind, being able to see exactly where she is, when she's there. And let's be honest, she's entering her teen years, so I've got to be on top of her.
80% of parents in one survey track their kids' locations. Trackers on the market range from inexpensive Bluetooth tags to GPS devices and connected cellular smartwatches. And only some of these devices are designed specifically for kids.
Parents often assume that products made for children are held to higher standards, but that's not always the case.
Depending on their features, these devices don't just track location. They also collect sensitive data such as messages, voice notes, and detailed movement patterns.
The details of what information is being gathered and how it's being stored aren't always easy to track. Depending on the device and the company behind it, that information may not be stored securely.
Consumer Reports analyzed 15 devices by reviewing their privacy policies, testing app permissions and default settings, and examining how each product handles sensitive data such as location, messages, and device IDs.
CR found that most privacy policies often clearly explain what data is collected and why, and several brand apps let parents limit data sharing or turn off targeted ads, We want apps to function without being given additional permissions.
But Consumer Reports did find some kid-specific products fell short in protecting their child's privacy and security, lacking multi-factor authentication and logging unencrypted direct messages. For parents looking for a Bluetooth tracker to keep track of their kids within a short distance from them, Consumer Reports says the Apple AirTag and Eufy Smart Track Link scored highest in data privacy and security. The TAC GPS tracker scored the highest for data security among GPS trackers, but the Bot Talk GPS tracker for kids got the best score for data privacy. The Apple Watch SE 3 GPS plus cellular scored high overall among smartwatches, and the Garmin Bounce scored highest in data security. Peace of mind for mom, independence for her daughter.
And Consumer Reports recommends choosing devices with strong privacy controls and multi-factor authentication, turning privacy settings to the most restrictive options and avoiding trackers that rely on targeted advertising. And never set up a tracker without telling your child. Experts say that transparency matters just as much as technology. Coming up on Daybreak, Consumer Reports has released a follow-up to last year's infant formula investigation. The results, they may surprise parents. Plus, your trending news is coming up. Your time is now 7:11. We'll be right back here on Daybreak on 12 News Plus.
Share your pics and video with 12 News. Just go to the Near Me tab inside the 12 News Now app and click Share with Us.
We begin with breaking news.
A Union Pacific train derailed. Story 5 told his reporter Derek Jones. Derek, what are you seeing tonight?
We have live team coverage tonight at Breaking It All Down.
Hardin County Sheriff shares he could face charges in Hardin County.
We're continuing to follow developing news.
Coming up right there behind me is an ambulance that is running hot.
We're going to keep you updated on air and online as we learn more.
Stream extended coverage on 12 News Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
After my injury, I lost my sense of purpose. I lost the ability to tuck my daughters into bed.
Homes for Our Troops build specially adapted homes with features that allow our veterans to function independently and focus on their recovery and family. This life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free.
Homes for Our Troops gave me a home where I can be a dad.
Homes for Our Troops gave me a brighter future.
We need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Learn more at hfotusa.org.
From Dallas to Houston, San Antonio to Austin, it's the news that moves all of Texas. Texas News Now. One power-packed hour with enough Texas news to fill a 10-gallon hat. Your top headlines, weather alerts, and big travel updates. No matter where you're headed, across town or across the state, we've got Texas covered. Texas News Now, weekdays at noon, only on 12 News Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. At 12 News, we don't just cover this community, we're part of it. That's why we care so deeply about getting it right. Because when local journalism is done right, it doesn't sit still. It moves to vote, to volunteer, to speak up or lend a hand. And yes, it moves your heart.
I am just so grateful.
Oh my gosh.
Through human storytelling that stays with you long after the moment passes. And at 12 News, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Beaumont.
Whether it's tonight or 55 years down the road.
Find your new furry friend with the 12 News Pet of the Week every Friday on 12 News.
Your stories covered by the team you trust. Watch 12 News at 10 and stream free on 12 News Plus.
Welcome back to Daybreak here on 12 News Plus. Consumer Reports, they just released a follow-up to last year's investigation into infant formulas, testing everything from liquid ready to feed to organic goat milk formulas for heavy metals and other contaminants. Luis Plasencia, she shares what parents need to know before buying their next round of formula.
Last year, Consumer Reports told parents about finding lead and arsenic in some of the 41 infant formulas CR tested. Now, scientists are going even deeper, analyzing 49 more baby formulas for arsenic, lead, PFAS, BPA, acrylamide, and other contaminants.
We had a lot of questions from readers after our first round. Readers were curious to learn about more hypoallergenic formulas, plant-based formulas, and liquid and ready-to-feed, which were not included in our first round of tests.
In CR's test, nearly half of the infant formulas had very low or non-detectable levels of contaminants. Overall, about a third of liquid formulas and more than half of powdered formulas earned top choice ratings for very low or undetectable levels of contaminants. But there's still room for improvement. More than half of the formulas contained potentially concerning levels of inorganic arsenic, a known carcinogen. Several were flagged for lead, which can harm a baby's brain development. PFAS, sometimes called forever chemicals, were detected in over a quarter of the products, and small amounts of bisphenol A and acrylamide were detected in a few powders, two chemicals known to be harmful to babies' health at too high levels.
All of the formulas in these tests are ultimately safe to feed your baby. CR's experts are using the most protective levels to assess health risks and compare formulas to one another because it's such an important food, and we believe that parents really want more information.
There are no federal limits for heavy metals allowed in infant formula, and companies aren't required to routinely test for them or share the results publicly. Manufacturers told CR that they stood by the safety of their products, saying that they conduct extensive internal testing and pointing out that any contaminants fall within regulatory limits. Bottom line for concerned parents, have an open conversation with your pediatrician or trusted healthcare provider. This is Luz Plasencia.
And last year, after Consumer Reports' first investigation, federal regulators, they announced Operation Stork Speed, promising stricter oversight and more testing of infant formula. Well, 1 year later, the FDA says that it's still asking Congress for more authority and hasn't yet received it.
Weather impact alert coming up on Wednesday as a cold front comes through, and with that front we'll see some heavy rainfall with slight risk of some severe weather, maybe 1 to 2 inches of rain and strong winds and possibly hail with a line of thunderstorms coming through. So something we're going to be watching for as we head towards the middle part of the week. This afternoon, maybe about a 30% chance of a few showers, but overall just kind of a gray day out there. Maybe see a little bit of sunshine, and temperature should get up into around 80. Right now we're in the upper 60s. 68 Beaumont, Kirbyville, Jasper, 69 Silsbee, 67 Woodville, and then 68 now in Woodville, 71 in Orange, 71 in Port Arthur. Outside, you can see the low-level clouds had a little bit of patchy fog up in the Jasper area this morning. This camera brought to you by Provalis, part of the Roofing 911 Live Skycam network. And you can see the low-level cloud cover that should break up a little bit here as we head towards late morning. But also, like I said, we should see a lot of clouds continue through most of the day. You can see that stream coming in from the west-southwest, and that'll keep us mostly cloudy, and maybe a couple of showers. Little disturbances embedded along here could pop up a random shower from time to time. Actually seeing some thunderstorms up in Oklahoma for this morning. Temperatures climbing out of the 60s into the 70s fairly quickly here this morning, and we'll stay in the 70s for most of the day. You can see on Futurecast some of these spotty showers that could be popping up as we go into the afternoon, with highs right around 80 degrees for this afternoon. Then we see the showers die down this evening and temperatures falling through the 70s back into the 60s, it looks like, to start off as we head towards Tuesday morning. Tuesday looks dry, and then that weather impact alert for Wednesday with rain and thunderstorms moving through. Probably the best chance of maybe seeing a severe thunderstorm will be up towards the lakes area. That's where there's a slight risk. Down here around the triangle, we have a marginal risk of severe weather. So we'll be watching it. Doesn't mean we're going to have severe weather. We had a slight risk of severe weather Saturday night, and we didn't get any watches or warnings. So let's hope this is the same type of deal where we just get some heavy rain. We picked up officially 2 inches of rain at the airport Saturday night going into Sunday. So that was some good news as it helped soak things up a little bit. We've been so dry. But Wednesday, watch out. Strong winds and hail possible. Just stay weather aware as we go into your Wednesday. Mostly cloudy, 30% coverage of a few showers today with south winds at 5 to 10. Temperatures trying to get up to around 80, 81 for this afternoon, and then back into the upper 60s for tonight with mostly cloudy skies and south winds. As we take a look at our 7-day forecast, tomorrow, like I said, looks dry, about 81. And then on Wednesday, we have those rain and thunderstorms moving through late afternoon into the evening with a 70% coverage. Look at the numbers behind the front. 70 for a high on Thursday. Friday morning, we dip down into the 40s. It's going to be chilly. You'll need the jacket Friday morning. And then we'll be into the middle 70s Friday afternoon. Upper 70s on Saturday. And then back to some lower 80s as we get towards Sunday.
So will I be able to do outdoor walking today, Jeff?
I would carry the app with you, the 12 News Now app, and check the radar before you go. There'll be spotty showers around, but it won't be an all-day rain or anything like that. I think you maybe will be able to get a walk in. Just like I said, kind of keep an eye on the radar there.
Or I can just text you, like I typically do.
Yeah, and I'll say,
check the app.
I'll say, walk around your apartment.
All right, thank you, Jeff. And just a reminder, you can download our app at any time. Jeff just talking about there. Has the latest weather. You can check the radar by going to the radar tab in the app. 7:20 right now. Let's do some trending news here on 12 News Plus. Crossing guards. They are supposed to wear clothes that stand out. Well, this 82-year-old understood that assignment.
So cute. The fashionista is gaining attention for her fabulous looks, sashaying down the crosswalks of New Jersey. She helps students safely get to school with a little extra style. Over the years, she has worked as a dental assistant, cosmetologist, model, and school aide, but she says being a crossing guard is her favorite job, yet I'm sure those students look forward to it every day, even the community.
You're going to be out there in public like that. You got to look your best, and she looks fabulous. I love that.
Love to see it. All right, well, move over traditional restaurants. One Florida entrepreneur is taking dining out to a whole new level.
Yeah, he is serving up hibachi, but not the way you've normally had it. He's doing it out of the trunk of his car.
Okay.
Social media, they can't get enough of this, with videos showing him flipping steak, shrimp, and veggies right in the parking lot. It's creative outside the box way to serve customers, and people, they are loving it. So if you're hungry for a trendy meal and a little entertainment, this guy's mobile hibachi, it might be your next step.
It looks good, but it seems a little weird to be getting food from, someone's trunk, though, but it looks good.
I agree. I'm going to stick to the hibachi food trucks, I think, not the food trunks.
Now, I'm going to say, if you catch me Friday night, 3 a.m.
Maybe
I don't care where it's coming from.
Okay, there you go. Good point. Well, you've heard of a girl dinner, but in Texas, it gets a Western twist.
Haywire restaurants across North Texas are serving up the cowgirl dinner, a Texas-style meal with steak, salad, crispy tallow fries, and even a choice of a dirty or lemon drop martini. It's $30 and available all month. It's all in celebration of Women's History Month, and fans are loving the fun, flavorful take on the viral dining trend. I know my mom is watching, so it looks like we got somewhere to go. But that looks good, though.
Yeah, it looks great, honestly. It looks fresh everything, and $30 for the meal altogether.
Love me a good lemon drop.
Can't beat that.
Or two. All right. 7:22 right now, taking a live look outside from our Roofing 911 Skycam network. Meteorologist Jeff Gerber will be back with another look at your forecast. You're watching 12 News Daybreak on 12 News Plus.
Sulfuric acid, and another is flammable.
Stories are everywhere, in your neighborhood, across our city. We're here to bring you the ones that matter, from breaking news to the weather impact alerts that can change your day.
The potential for severe weather.
So you're not just informed, you're prepared. We live here, we're part of this community, and we take seriously the trust you place in us. These are your stories, covered by the team you know and trust. Watch 12 News at 10 and stream free on 12 News Plus.
Serious, man. I actually drive better when I'm on it. If anything, I'm more careful. More chill. More relaxed. It just helps me focus. It just helps me focus, you know?
I'm Eric Roberts, and I want to talk to you about giving, the gift of life. Right now, over 100,000 people are waiting for a life-saving organ transplant. More than 90,000 of them need a kidney. One organ donor can save up to 8 lives. To learn more about organ donation and how you can help, visit mnitf.org. Become an organ donor today.
Southeast Texas is filled with amazing stories, both on and off the field, and you can get all the action on your schedule. That's 12 News Plus. Add it to your Roku, Fire TV, or Apple TV today. What's better than free local sports?
Are rising costs and mounting debt leaving your wallet feeling just a little too thin? 12 News is offering tips on saving money and balancing your budget to get your finances back on track. Money matters, only on 12 News.
As we take a look at our bus stop forecast for this morning, temperatures in the 60s to start off. A couple isolated showers throughout the day. Will be about 75 at recess, 81 on the way home. Along the coast today, no advisory. South winds at 5 to 10 knots, seas around 2 feet. Only one high tide, that's at 10:20 this morning. Our sunrise at 7:32 this morning, so that's coming up. Our sunsets at 7:21. As we take a look at our weather impact alert, it's coming up on Wednesday, mainly Wednesday night. We could see some severe weather. There's slight risk for that with some hail and maybe some strong winds, so stay weather aware towards the middle part of the week.
And coming up on Daybreak here on 12 News Plus, Iran's leadership, it passes to a new generation who's been named the country's next supreme leader.
Plus, with spring break underway, 12 News reporter Derek Jones will join us in studio to explain the cause of travel delays and how passengers are handling the chaos.
And pain at the pump as oil prices are spiking amid tensions there with Iran pushing U.S. gas prices up. What gas prices are currently looking like here at home.
And your time now, 7:26. Looking at the skies of Beaumont this morning. We'll have more news and weather in just a few minutes.
Good morning, Southeast Texas, and thanks for joining us here on Daybreak on 12 News Plus. I'm Mark Armstrong.
And I'm Tia Johnson. The time now is 7:30. Let's take a look at your top stories this morning.
First up, 2 vehicles were involved in a crash on Highway 69 North in Port Arthur Sunday. A white SUV ended up on top of the concrete median wall. A gold Toyota pulling a trailer was off to the side near a tow truck. We're still working to learn exactly what led up to this crash.
The burn ban in Newton County has been lifted. Constable Howie Wonder says the ban, which was issued February 27th, expired Saturday after the standard 7 days.
And in Orange, a man saved his grandfather after their home went up in flames. Happened around 3 in the 300 block of North Farragut Avenue on Saturday. 12 News spoke to the man who tells us that he tried to put the flames out himself after an extension cord started the fire. EMS tells us that the man suffered second-degree burns and was transported to the hospital. The home was not a total loss, but it does have smoke and water damage.
New overnight, one person was shot last night in the parking lot of Waffle House in Cinemark around 10 p.m. Beaumont Police tells 12 News there were reports of shots fired involving a large group of teenagers. Officers with BPD cleared the movie theater as a precaution, and an investigation is ongoing. We haven't reached any updates about the victim's current condition, but their injuries are not life-threatening. All right, let's take a live look outside from our Roofing 911 Skycam network. Very doomy view of Port Arthur there from our Roofing 911 Skycam network. Jeff, doomy, that's the perfect word to describe it. Can we expect to see this all day?
Doomy, the combination of gloomy and
doom.
Doom.
Yep.
Okay.
You never heard that word before?
Doomy?
You didn't learn that in meteorology school?
No. Gloomy I've heard, but not doomy.
It's doomy to me.
Yeah, it's pretty doomy, Jeff.
Doomsday.
Well, it looks like it could rain out there. We might see a few showers today. We're looking towards Wednesday night, where we're expecting to see some heavy rain as the cold front pushes through. We're looking at maybe a couple of inches of rain on Wednesday. Slight risk of severe weather with that. Maybe some strong winds and some hail possible. So stay weather, head towards the middle part of the week. Temperatures this morning in the upper 60s for the most part, 68, 69 through most of the area, 71 in Orange and 71 right now in Port Arthur. Highs today climb from the 70s to maybe the lower 80s for a little bit. We'll see about a 20-30% chance of a couple of showers popping up as we go through the day, but not going to be an all-day rain by any stretch of the imagination. We'll see south winds at about 5 to 10 for this afternoon.
All right, Jeff, well, Beaumont police are investigating after a person was hit by a car. This happened around noon Saturday on MLK Parkway. We're told that the man was riding a bike in the 500 block in front of Scooter's Coffee. The victim now recovering in the hospital in stable condition. Now, once we learn more information, we'll keep you updated.
Animal activists in Silsbee are calling for residents to attend an upcoming city council meeting Thursday. According to the agenda, there will be an executive session discussing a public officer or an employee with the city. The former Silsbee animal control officer is at the center of an investigation into improperly disposing dog remains. The investigation started after an animal rescuer reported finding multiple dog remains in February while bringing 2 dogs to the center. She said one of the dogs ran into a nearby wooded area and returned with what appeared to be an animal bone in its mouth.
I seen 6 or 7 dogs right here at the ditch or the bank that still had fur, meat on them, collars. I started taking pictures, I started walking, and then as you're starting to walk, you start seeing all these dogs and these bones.
Joshua Nolan, Silsbee's lone animal control officer, was arrested Friday and bonded out of jail. When we called Hardin County, they refused to give us any information about the case. We're told to call Sheriff Mark Davis, who has yet to respond to our request.
And this morning, we're learning the identity of a woman that died in a crash in Jasper County Friday night on State Highway 62 near County Road 825. Sunday, DPS telling us that 35-year-old Megan Martin from Groves died at the scene, while her 13-year-old daughter died after being transported to St. Elizabeth Hospital. Now, according to Jefferson County Judge Ben Collins. Martin's best friend, Stephanie Shaw, telling us that Martin's daughter and her 9-year-old son, they were also passengers inside the Chevrolet pickup truck that Martin was driving. They were hit after the driver of a Dodge pickup truck went into oncoming traffic, sideswiped a Honda, and then hit them. Shaw says that the little boy suffered a broken leg and got out of surgery Saturday night. He is now staying with family. Shaw says that Megan was, quote, always positive and smiling no matter the situation. She was always laughing, and her laugh was contagious. She says that her daughter Serenity was her mother's child and that she had just made the cheer squad at her middle school. Shaw says that Megan was a respiratory therapist at Baptist Hospital.
It's been 1 week since the deadly mass shooting on West 6th Street in Austin. 3 people were killed and more than a dozen others injured. The bar where the first shots were fired is back open, and it's donating 100% of its weekend sales to help those impacted. In an Instagram post, Buford's Backyard Beer Garden says all proceeds from Friday through the end of Sunday will go towards supporting the people affected by the attack. The bar also says there will be more police in the area, along with new safety measures, including protective glass near the beer garden. Other nearby businesses say they also stepped up this weekend with fundraisers and donations. And support is also coming from first responders in Manor, Texas. That's about 20 minutes away from Austin. Travis County ESD 12 fire engines are now displaying red bows. They're calling the tribute Red Bows for Ryder. It's all in honor of 19-year-old Ryder Harrington, one of the people killed in the attack. Officials say Harrington was related to a member of their department. The other people killed were 21-year-old Savitha Shan and 30-year-old Jorge Peterson. Peterson was initially hospitalized after the shooting, but later died after being taken off life support.
An emergency room doctor who has spent decades saving lives recently found himself on the other side of the hospital bed. A heart transplant and a race against a winter storm gave him a second chance. Joyce O'Gary has the story.
It's like stepping off a cliff. The heart can no longer compensate.
The longtime emergency doctor at Ascension St. Vincent, Stephen Kempker, was diagnosed with advanced heart failure. It was linked to a genetic heart condition that causes a heart muscle to thicken. Doctors told him a heart transplant was his best chance at survival.
They asked if we were ready for a transplant. I was like, well, we don't really have a choice.
And in December, the call came. A donor heart was available. But there is one problem. A snowstorm was moving through the region. Snowplows met the transplant team at the airport, clearing the way so the heart could safely reach the hospital in Indianapolis for surgery.
We knew that he needed the heart and that the time was critical, and so we did whatever we could within our power to get the heart here, and fortunately was successful.
After weeks of recovery, Dr. Kempker was sent home in January and is continuing to regain his strength. He admits it was difficult to be the patient and not the doctor.
I had to accept the fact that this was a little bit beyond me, so I needed their advice and their care, and they did an excellent job.
Dr. Kempker and his wife, Dr. Kaylin Carty Kempker, a family medicine physician, have served the Salem community since 1993. She says their family understands the sacrifice that made his second chance possible.
And there's no gratitude that you can give for that. And he's here. Somebody did a wonderful thing for several people that night. So I hope someday that we can thank them in person.
Daybreak is giving away tickets to Moody Gardens every Friday for the next 2 weeks. Winners will get a family 4-pack of tickets. The grand prize winner on March 20th will also get a one-night hotel stay and a round of golf for 2. Go to 12newsnow.com/contest to enter. We'll announce the winner at the end of the 6 a.m. hour on Friday. Up next, a small plane crashes into a cow pasture just minutes after takeoff. How the pilot and passenger survived. And still ahead, spring break travel is coming up. Expect long TSA wait lines. 12 News reporter Derek Jones will have updates on what to expect.
Life doesn't pause when you're sick. Vaccines against respiratory illnesses can help protect you. Depending on your age and health status, it may be recommended for you to get vaccinations for flu, COVID-19, RSV, or pneumococcal infection. Vaccines can help keep you from having a rough time. Find out which respiratory vaccines are recommended for you and where to get them.
Now is the time to be inside.
Thousands are still without power in Jasper and Newton County. We have live team coverage spread out all across Southeast Texas tonight.
In good hands as well because of the emergency management office there.
Knocked over a space heater.
We're still expected to see plenty more rain today. So
the power was actually out at about 4 to 5.
A couple of minutes ago that they're out of power.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with 12 News and 12 News Plus.
As Texans, we have many reasons to be proud of the Lone Star State. Showing our pride by saying, "Don't mess with Texas," means we gotta step up, walk the walk. Do our part to keep Texas clean. Because after all these years, all these miles, all these traditions, for all us Texans, "Don't mess with Texas" means don't litter.
At Daybreak, mornings start before the sun comes up.
Good morning, and thanks for waking up with us here.
This is our home where we live, work, and stay connected to our community. When we bring you the news each morning, we're talking to our neighbors.
Oh my gosh, that would be great.
From overnight news to weather and traffic that shape your day, our team keeps you informed, prepared, and connected.
It is a symbol of progress.
Make the move to Beaumont's #1 streaming newscast. Watch anytime, anywhere, weekdays 5 to 8.
It's time to honor our local educators with the 12 News Golden Apple Awards. Once a month, 12 News will surprise an educational staff member who has gone above and beyond to make a positive impact on the lives of Southeast Texas students. Nominate your educator by going to 12newsnow.com/goldenapple to do your part in showcasing the heroes that make a difference both inside and outside the classroom. The Golden Apple Awards, every month on 12 News.
A Sunday flight ended in a crash landing in a rural cow pasture in North Carolina just minutes after takeoff. Neighbors rushed in to help the pilot and passenger as investigators now try to figure out what went wrong. Glenn Counts reports.
Well, that aircraft took off around 2 o'clock Sunday afternoon from Goose Creek Airport. It only made it 2 to 3 miles downrange before running into trouble. The single-engine aircraft crashed in this cow pasture.
Heard the crash when it landed, when it hit the ground. The lady that lives in our house here, she called me, said a plane was down in the pasture, so I came to check cows and check the people.
Doug Rowell and his wife Catherine rushed to the scene to see if they could help and found that both the pilot and his passenger were in pain.
But the door on the pilot side looks like it might have hit the tree because it was dented in pretty good. So, and that might be why he was in so much pain.
The Rowells helped the victims get medical treatment, and then they took photos and videos of the accident scene. As you can see, one of the wings was sheared off, so was a wheel.
But given the condition of the wreckage, do you think they were fortunate?
Oh, yeah, the plane it's not terrible. I mean, it lost a wing, lost a wheel, but it could have been a lot worse.
The passenger initially declined medical attention, which surprised Mrs. Rowell.
I was quite surprised because he was in pretty bad shape. I mean, his gash was from side to side and it was pretty deep. I'm sure he probably had a concussion.
This was as much excitement as the usual residents of this pasture have had in some time.
Are all your cows okay?
Yep, everybody's good.
They're great.
Very inquisitive. They had the plane surrounded.
Well, the FAA says that both victims are in stable condition at the hospital. They haven't been interviewed yet. The FAA and NTSB are investigating, and it may be a while before a cause is known. In Union County, Glenn Counts.
Weather impact alert on Wednesday of this week, Wednesday night, as we're expecting some thunderstorms to move through the area. There is a slight risk for some severe weather with those storms. Maybe some strong winds and hail. Otherwise, would pick up maybe about 1 to 2 inches of rain, kind of like what we saw last weekend. Hopefully, we won't have any watches or warnings like we did last weekend. It'll be just some heavy rain that moves through the area with a little bit of lightning and thunder. Temperatures out there right now is trying to work up towards 70. We're at 70 right now in Silsbee, 71 in Orange, 71 in Port Arthur. Not quite there yet, though, in Beaumont at 69, and then Woodville, Jasper, and Kirbyville all sitting at about 68 degrees. Outside, we have this low-level cloud deck that should break up some for today. We'll go mostly cloudy through the afternoon and then maybe a couple of showers here and there. This camera brought to you by Provalis, part of the Roofing 911 Live Sky network up there in Jasper. You can see that flow from the west-southwest continue to keep us cloudy, or at least mostly cloudy throughout the day. And we might see a little disturbance, pop up a few showers for later on this afternoon. Right now, most of the active weather is up into Arkansas and Oklahoma, where they're seeing some showers and thunderstorms there. But you see, Futurecast doesn't show a whole lot through about 10 o'clock this morning. But then as we get towards lunch hour into the afternoon, it does show some spotty showers. So we'll go 30% for today with highs near 80 and those south winds off the Gulf between about 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then going in towards tomorrow morning, we'll see temperatures once again about where they are this morning, with some lower 70s and some upper 60s to start off on Tuesday. Now, as we head towards Wednesday, we do see a slight risk of some severe weather, mainly up towards the lakes, marginal risk down towards the triangle. Wouldn't be surprised, though, by Wednesday, this yellow area kind of works its way a little bit farther to the south. So we'll be watching for that. And like I said, in the short term, just be ready for Wednesday. You could see maybe some severe weather with some strong winds and some hail. And just stay weather aware as we head towards the middle part of the week, and we'll keep you updated as far as any of that goes. Mostly cloudy skies for today, 30% coverage of a few showers. Temperatures around 80 degrees with south winds at 5 to 10. And then tonight, mostly cloudy, south winds at 5 to 10. No rain really expected overnight, as we see those upper 60s. And then we look at our 7-day forecast. Tomorrow looks pretty dry, 81. Weather impact alert for Wednesday with the rain and thunderstorms. And then on the backside of that, looks like a really nice second half to the work week into the weekend. We'll see dry conditions. Temperature's going to be cooler, 70 for a high on Thursday and then 76 on Friday. That's 70 on Thursday with plenty of sunshine. Look at the chilly weather on Friday morning. Friday morning will drop down to about 47. So definitely going to bring some cooler air in behind this front. And then once we get past Friday, temperatures start to warm up a little bit more. 79 on Saturday, 81 on Sunday, and by Sunday morning, morning lows will be back into the lower 60s instead of the 40s like we're going to see on Friday morning.
Wow, what a difference in just 2 days.
Yeah, well, that's what those cold fronts can do for you, and we haven't seen one here in a little while. So, like I said, we could see some colder weather all the way through March into early April. Our latest freeze officially in Beaumont was April 3rd, so it could get down to freezing even in the early parts of April. Luckily, we won't be anywhere near freezing on Friday. We'll just be in the 40s.
Just saying, just in case, keep that in mind.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Jeff. And just a reminder, you can download our app at any time to get the latest on the weather. You can check the radar by going to the radar tab in the app. All right, spring break travel is already in full swing, but for many passengers flying out of airports across the country, their trips, they are starting with long lines and frustration at those TSA checkpoints.
12 News reporter Derek Jones is in studio to explain what's causing the delays and how travelers are dealing with it.
Markets here, the current wait time this morning out of the Hobby Airport is 150 minutes. For many travelers heading out for spring break, the waiting started the moment they arrived at Hobby Airport Sunday morning. Passengers face long security lines as hundreds try to get through TSA. The problem isn't just in Houston. Travelers at airports across the country are reporting similar delays. Officials say the impact could last through the rest of the week. The delays come as partial government shutdown continues, leaving TSA workers on the job without pay for a second time in 5 months. For travelers like Gil Jurek, it meant waiting in these long lines.
It started deep inside the garage, which it used to be the garage, I think, before they made the new parking garage in the airport. So it's the garage that's right there, and it circles around 7 times before you even get to this part.
Yesterday, the Department of Homeland Security placed the blame on Democrats in Congress, saying they are holding spring break travel hostage for political points. Democrats have been blocking funding for Homeland Security, including TSA, while pushing for changes to immigration enforcement policies. In studio, Derek Jones, 12 News.
Iran has a new supreme leader as the war in the Middle East enters its second week. Another American service member has been confirmed killed in action. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest from Washington.
This morning, with the U.S. and Israel still trading heavy fire with Iran, the nation is mourning a 7th American service member who U.S. Central Command says died from wounds suffered during an Iranian attack on Saudi Arabia a week ago. Following this weekend's dignified transfer for 6 of the fallen, President Trump acknowledged there may be more.
It's part of war. It's a sad part of war. It's the bad part of war.
The president not ruling out sending U.S. ground troops into Iran.
Possibly, for very good reason.
That as Iran named a new supreme leader, according to state-run media, Mojtaba Khamenei, son of the Ayatollah, killed in initial U.S.-Israeli strikes. President Trump had insisted on having a say in Iran's new leadership. The Iranian foreign minister rejecting that and calls for a ceasefire without a permanent end to the war.
Unless we get to that, I think we need to, continue fighting for the sake of our people and our security.
As the escalating conflict disrupts critical oil channels, the cost of oil topping $100 a barrel for the first time in almost 4 years, with a gallon of gas now up nearly 50 cents in a week on average across the U.S. The administration adamant that'll be short term.
In the worst case, this is a week's. This is not a month's thing.
We're now seeing the ripple effects of this war with higher gas prices, with declining job numbers.
The defense secretary rejecting critics' calls for a clear timeline.
You don't tell the enemy, you don't tell the press, you don't tell anybody what your limits would be on an operation. We're willing to go as far as we need to in order to be successful.
In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
An oil surge Sunday evening as trading opened, climbing past $100 a barrel for the first time since July 2022. U.S. crude, it jumped nearly 20% to around $109 a barrel. Brent crude, the global benchmark, rose more than 15%, roughly to $107 a barrel. Higher oil prices are already filtering down to consumers. The national average price for gasoline has climbed above $3.45 per gallon. Gas prices, they've spiked since the U.S. conflict with Iran broke out more than a week ago. AAA says the average price there now $3.45 a gallon. That's up 16% from a week ago. Here in Beaumont, according to Gas Buddy, gas prices are ranging from the lowest price of $2.79 to the highest that we could find at $3.29.
On Sunday, President Donald Trump dismissed concerns about the rising gas prices. He posted on social media that the increase in gas is a small price to pay for Americans and the world compared to achieving safety and peace. The president also said the spike in prices would only be for a short time once Iran's nuclear threat is over. When Daybreak returns on 12 News Plus, we'll have more news and weather. Your morning rush out. The time now 7:51.
In my group, I took the best photos. We were always trying to look cute online. That's how I met him. His DM asked if I was a model or if I wanted to be. Asked for more pictures and then to meet up. I thought I was in control, but it was always him. Girlhood should be selfies and silly filters, not sex traffickers hitting you up on social.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
No matter where we start, every mile brings us closer. And as Texans, we take care of each other along the way. We lend a hand, slow down, and take our time. At the end of the day, we all want to get home safe. Drive like a Texan. Kind, courteous, and safe.
Step up in the building, yeah, we don't got no ceilings. Get them out their feelings, yeah, I'm taking out the villains. Got them on their feet, jaws dropping. History's revealing and they know they can't stop it. Woo! Watch me take flight. It's a different sight when you take it to this height. They can stop the freedom that I got. Feeling like an eagle, watch me take it to the top. A seam you can't crop, and you know this.
It's 4 words no parent should ever hear.
Your child is sick. But Starlight has taught us 4 other words that make all the difference.
Healing begins with happiness. Learn more at starlight.org.
Texas News Now. One power-packed hour with enough Texas news to fill a 10-gallon hat. Your top headlines, weather alerts, and big travel updates. Weekdays, noon. Only on 12 News Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Welcome back to Daybreak, 7:55 right now. Time for your morning rush out. In Port Arthur Sunday, a white SUV ended up on top of the concrete median wall. A gold Toyota pulling a trailer was off to the side near a tow truck. We are still working to learn exactly what led up to this crash.
The burn ban in Newton County has been lifted. Constable Howie Wonder says the ban, which was issued February 27th, expired Saturday after the standard 7 days.
And in Orange, a man saved his grandfather after their home went up in flames. This all happened around 3 in the 300 block of North Farragut Avenue on Saturday. 12 News spoke to the man, who tells us that he tried to put the flames out himself after an extension cord started the fire. EMS telling us that man suffered second-degree burns and was transported to the hospital. The home's not a total loss, but it does have smoke and water damage.
As we look at today's forecast, it's a 30% chance of a few showers, and then tomorrow looks dry at 81. Wednesday, 70% coverage of rain and thunderstorms. There is a slight risk of severe weather, so we do have a weather impact alert for Wednesday. After that, cooler air comes in Thursday, Friday, even chilly stuff on Friday morning. And then we rebound back into the upper 70s, around 80 degrees for Saturday and Sunday.
Reasons to Smile, sponsored by Reisinger and Valls Orthodontic Specialists.
Well, here's a reason to smile. Southeast Texas lawyer and author Jefferson Fisher, he's finding new success. He took to Instagram on Sunday to announce that his audiobook version of The Next Conversation, Argue Less, Talk More, which he narrated, has now won the 2026 Audio Award for Business and Personal Development. Very cool right there.
Yeah, definitely was a book that Jeff is interested in, so I might get it for you, Jeff.
I think I'll bring it to the morning show and read it out loud. Argue less, talk more.
Perfect.
Yeah. We could do a new segment just on that. Yeah. Anytime there's, something that we need to solve, you can just pull it out and say from your favorite chapter.
Jeff's book corner, and I'll just be sitting there and I'll just read.
The take on Tia's tales, huh?
Kinda, but I'll be reading to Tia instead.
See you at 11.
Have a good day.